Welcome to New Business in Later Life, where we throw retirement into the wind and embrace our life in our 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. Today we bust myths about a profession that doesn't discriminate. It allows people to rise to the top in earnings when they put the effort in. Peter Ellis, my guest of today, has had more jobs than he can count as he's welcoming his 70s, while he turned his work into a lifestyle. Stay tuned and let's hear it from Peter. So Peter, you currently have taken on a new role in network marketing. Here you are in your late 60s, literally turning 70 next year.
Yep.
So you've been around the block a few times. You've been, you've worn many hats. You've worn a sailor's hat, publican's hat. You've been an entrepreneur, a business owner. So tell me, what part of your past entrepreneurial life has prepared you best for network marketing?
To be honest, I think it's a combination of all sorts of things. It's experience, life experience as much as anything. One of the sort of the early stages, we saw network marketing back in the 80s, didn't have a very good name. We tried a couple of different companies, different product bases, and didn't get on with it. So I've got to be perfectly honest, back in the 2000s, probably early 2000s, I'd said, never, ever again am I going to get involved in network marketing.
So what actually clicked this time?
I think it was the company we're with. It's the product or the service, as it happens, that we're involved in, because we're passionate about it anyway, which helps. When we looked at the overall company setup and the compensation plan and everything else, it resonated with us. So that made it sort of work for us, if you like. And so we thought, yeah, we'll have another look at it and another go and take it from there. And it's through that, it's the people I've met and watched the people, how people have grown, how it's changed people's lives and their whole outlook on it that has resonated more and more with me. So that's got me more into it and made me want to learn a lot more about it and how it works, and then to help a lot of other people if I can. Back in our early life, I mean, I was in the Navy. I left school at 15. Just to recap for anyone who doesn't sort of understand or know, I left school at 15 because we could then. Because I didn't have
times.
It was different times. I didn't have any self-confidence, and I was the kid in the class who, if the teacher asked a question, even if I knew the answer, I wouldn't put my hand up because I wasn't confident enough that I had got it right, and I didn't want to look stupid. The downside of that was the teachers always picked on me because I wouldn't answer the question. And that made it even worse because I was also very shy. So the whole thing, school, I hated school because I just didn't get on with it.
I think a lot of people can sympathize with that feeling.
Well, yeah. But in those days, you could get out. So I did. I left and joined the Navy thinking, great, that's it. I haven't got to worry about school. What I didn't understand was at 15, I joined the Navy, but I actually ended up in a naval college. HMS Ganges up in Ipswich, and because you still had to take exams, and so I ended up in a college doing part school, part trade, and I was a marine engineer. We took the exams, so I was then on various ships and I worked my way through some of the ranks, but I got to a point I didn't want to be in the Navy once I got married because I'd seen what happened, so I left. And when I left, I went to a boat building company, which were then Pool Power Boats, now Sunseeker International, so they're a big organisation. And then we had various other calls. I worked on a charter yacht in the Med. I came back, Penny, my wife, we got married. We then ran a pub for a while.
Okay.
At the
Very different kind of businesses you ventured into.
Everything was different. I mean, even at that age, we were 26 and 25 when we took the pub on, and we ended up with 40 staff, 3 big bars,
so by 26, you were already in the Navy.
I've been in the Navy.
Working for a big organisation, taking a pub.
Yeah.
So you've been an entrepreneur from then on all your life.
Yeah. And we've changed jobs and careers and then run our own businesses. We've been in the healthcare industry. We've done all sorts of things. But in our early days, when the kids were little and growing up, I was in the seafood industry, and I opened a branch up sort of in the Midlands, and we were living in Bournemouth. And then we moved to the Cotswolds. I used to go to work very early in the morning, come home late in the evening because of the early morning markets and the way the business works. So I worked a lot of hours, which left Penny getting up in the morning, getting the kids up, getting them to school, going to her job, getting the kids from school or arranging childcare for them and doing everything else.
So basically, it was pretty much a one-parent family.
It was a one-parent family with me, there at night. So I often got home after they'd gone to bed, and I got up and went to work long before they got up in the morning.
That's not quite the life you
It's
envisaged.
not ideal. So, and that's one of the things with network marketing that a lot of people get into because they want the freedom. They want the time freedom. A lot of mums get involved in network marketing in various industries, purely and simply so they've got that time they can deal with the children and they haven't got to worry about going to work in a set place or a 9 to 5 or whatever. You see so many adverts where people go, get rid of the 9 to 5 and do this. But they make it look so glamorous. It's sort of they're sitting on a beach with champagne or doing all the nice things. And although multi-level marketing can give you that in time, it's not instant, and that's not always the case.
So here you are now as an independent travel agent. So that's your current
that's our company, yes.
Multi-level marketing business. I don't know, maybe because I'm doing a lot of networking myself, but at the moment it feels like independent travel agents are literally just coming out of the woodwork every which way I go.
Yeah.
And it already feels like it's quite saturated. What's your experience in that?
There's different people who are working as travel agents. There's so many industries now where you look at it and you think, there's everyone I talk to is doing it. And yes, there's different companies involved. There's different ways of getting in. You've got to look at the companies. If you want to get involved with multi-level marketing at all, first off, you need to find something that works for you. And it'll normally come to you by a friend or a family member saying,
probably.
I'm involved with this. This is great. Why don't you have a look at it? And as I say, we tried a few early on and they just didn't work for us. Some were healthcare, some were skincare, all sorts of things like that. Household products didn't resonate with us. And so I suppose we tried it, but we didn't put enough energy into it because it wasn't what we were about.
Are you exhausted and running your business on empty? Discover health routines that give you more focus and energy. Sign up today by getting your free guide. The link is in the show notes. How salesy do you need to be?
You don't.
To be successful in multi-level marketing? Because just like you say, in my life, probably one business or another has come by me pretty regularly, I suppose. And I think it probably applies to all of us, starting with the Tupperware ones through Avon. And as you say, there are loads of toiletry and sort of beauty product kind. And now, to me, it kind of looks like it's a new fad, this independent travel agency business. But I've never, ever been attracted to it because I always feel like you've got to be a really good salesperson.
People worry about sales. And at the end of the day, sales, whatever you're in, not just multi-level marketing, but as sales, you're having conversations with people.
Okay.
And that's all it is. Years ago, you'll probably remember it, you used to get the hard sell, the hard push, and a salesman would jump on you straight away.
Well, like the window
the
people,
double car
window
salesman.
Yeah. Actually, car salesman.
If you went in a shop, you walk in the shop and they pounce on you. Can I help you? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Nowadays, nobody does that because people don't want it. They don't like it. Sales work on part attraction marketing, but it's people buy from people. They'll buy from people they know and trust. And with any sales, you've got to build relationships with people nowadays, and you people will then start to get to know you a bit, and then they'll consider whether they're going to buy from you or not. With travel agency, whether it's in a shop or whether it's independent, they've still got to build that relationship. Often people walk in a shop, they see a poster in the window of a particular holiday, that looks great, and they'll go in and start talking to somebody.
Yeah.
But then the conversation will develop as to what they really want, where they want to go, what their budget is, etc. And it's no different with independent, except you're talking to people that you're building a relationship with. And then you get the repeat business because they know what you've done for them last time. They know how you work. They get to trust you. They'll come back.
So do you think that when you are independent, you become more of a friend than being a person in a shop?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yeah, I think that's how multi-level marketing has always worked, because it used to be people had home parties, so someone would invite their friends around.
Yeah, I've been to a few,
Yeah, we did in the day. And so they invite all their friends and family around, and then the person who's holding it, or from the company, they do all the presentation, and then people get to know them as well, and then they start to join underneath. The reason multi-level marketing works, and it started back in the 1940s with Nutrilite, and they were doing food supplements at the time.
Okay.
And that's how when it first came about.
Was it like after the war?
Yeah, well, it was during the war, I
During
think.
the war.
But it was a couple of entrepreneurs over there worked for Nutrilite, and they came up with this way of selling through people without having marketing budgets and salespeople. Often because there was a shortage of guys there to sell because they were in the forces. And then, 10 years later, Amway came along with household products. And then from there on, it started to increase with more nutritional products and supplements and healthcare. And then, as you say, you had Avon and Summers, which are household names, but often people don't associate that with multi-level marketing because it still has this stigma of it's one of those pyramid schemes.
I was going to ask you about that. So when someone mentions that this multi-level marketing is like a pyramid scheme, what do you do not to roll your eyes and have a decent conversation about it?
It's a throwback. Back in the 80s and around that era, there were a lot of people. I mean, we get scams these days, and back then, some of the scams were join this. It's a membership club, but it's financial. So basically, you join, you pay an amount of money to join. You would then pay an ongoing amount of money per month. But there were no goods or products or services or anything else sold. It was all about this. So it relied on people keep bringing people in underneath. And as long as they did that, everyone earned money from it. But as soon as people couldn't recruit anyone underneath them, the whole thing collapsed. And that's when people just lost loads of money. And that's what the original pyramid schemes came about from. And that's why they were outlawed.
Yeah, and they are now illegal, aren't they?
They are illegal. Multi-level marketing is one of the highest regulated industries or professions out there.
That's interesting.
It is so regulated, and a company to be a multi-level marketing company has to sell goods or services outside of their organization.
So this is now what sets it completely apart from the pyramid schemes.
Yes.
Do you need to be in it for long enough in order to really start earning decent money from it?
Nothing comes easy overnight. And
that's true.
It's not a get rich quick scheme. Multi-level marketing, the easiest sort of way to put it is if you, as I said earlier on, you go to university, you come out of university with a degree and a big debt. And then at that point, you've done 3 years in university, you've then got to start finding a job. And you might not find a job in your industry. So a lot of students end up going and working in fast food outlets, retail.
Yeah, they do during their uni years, and then there's just something they're familiar with, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it also means they've spent 3 years learning to do something at degree level, and they're not using it. Many do, but a lot don't. If you join a network marketing company, if you work as hard as you would at university for 3 years even, you are going to be earning a decent income, or you could be earning a decent income. And it all depends. It's an industry or profession that you are paid or rewarded on effort as opposed to position. So,
okay, that's an interesting point.
So let's look at pyramids. So people often say, oh, it's one of those pyramid schemes. Yes, it is. However, which pyramid are we talking, yours or ours? When we leave school, we're told, go and get a job, or go to college, university, get a job. You get a job, you start at the bottom rung, mostly.
You do, indeed, yeah.
So you've got a lot of people working to do the job and produce or supply or whatever.
Receptionist, administration, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Then above that, you might get a row of supervisors, team leaders. Above that, you'll get some managers. They might be branch managers. They might be department managers. It could be anything. Then above those, you'll get some senior managers or general managers. Then you'll get some directors. And then at the top, you've got a CEO or chief executive or managing director, whatever. All those people at the bottom are working, and all the way up, which is not a pyramid, it's a corporate ladder.
Yes, it is, yeah. But it is a pyramid, however we look at it.
It's a corporate ladder, but if you look at the structure of it, it's a pyramid. But all of those people are working hard to make the guy at the top richer.
Yeah.
Now, none of those people at the bottom, or very, very few, if any, will ever surpass what that guy at the top's earning.
Well, of course, because if you look how many people are at the bottom, then you can literally work out what your option is to get to the top.
Exactly.
If you ever...
Yeah. With multi-level marketing, you start at the top of the pyramid and you build your pyramid down by bringing other people into it and showing them how it works. And they in turn build their pyramid. And with them building their pyramids, they're building yours and making yours bigger. So the people who put the effort in at the start, plus you're selling your products or services, the people who put that effort in at the beginning for a few years and help other people to do the same and earn, then they are rewarded in that sense that they get moved up. So anybody coming in could be, I might introduce somebody and they introduce somebody and they introduce somebody, and that person...
And that's how the pyramid is building under you.
Yeah, but that person they've introduced, so say 5 people along, they could quite easily work a lot harder than me and earn 3 or 4 times what I can earn or more.
Okay.
So there's it's based on, as I say, it's based on effort or paid on effort, rewarded on effort, not on position.
So even though, just to unpick it a little bit, so even though you sort of receive commission for everybody who you build into your pyramid, and then they build their pyramids and so on, still, if anybody is quite outstanding, they can exceed your earnings, even though they are below you in the pyramid.
The lady at the top of our team, Rachel, she joined 6 years ago. The company had come from America and it had been in our country for 5 years at that point, I think. And she had a friend who kept asking her to do it. Well, at the time, she was trying to be a travel influencer. Okay. And so she wasn't interested. Oh, it's one of those pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing. I'm not interested in that. And this girl asked her 21 times before Rachel finally said, look, okay, I'll have a look at it. Rachel is now the #1 earner in the whole company, including America and everywhere else.
She realised how she can merge her love of being an influencer.
Yeah, well, she didn't do any influencing at all. That all went by the wayside once she got involved with her. She just knocked it on the head. But what she realised and what she saw was what was possible. So she got her head down and worked hard. And you've got to work hard if you want to get to that level. I mean, she's earning now multiple 7-figure incomes. But what the point is, she started halfway through it been here, and she's now the #1 earner in the world.
So let's just relate the whole thing back to our topic of starting a new business in later life. So why would multi-level marketing, or in particular being an independent travel agent, be appealing for somebody who is in their midlife or later life, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, to actually start up as an agent?
Down to knowing whether it's, as I said, you've got to find something you enjoy doing. So whether it's travel agency, whether it's skincare products, whether it's vitamins, doesn't matter. If that's, if you're into health, you probably go down the vitamin road. But it's knowing that you are in an organization or an industry where everybody wants you to succeed. Everyone wants you to win, because if you succeed, they succeed.
I suppose, that there's a real, that sort of theory of, how does it go? The tide lifts all the boats?
Something like that.
Yeah. You all support each other and you all...
Yeah, you do. And it's like a big family. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're directly in your own team or not. It's even if they're in someone else's team, they'll still help. Everyone wants to help everybody, because everyone wants people to succeed. And a lot of the real top earners, and certainly the real top earners in our company, but I do a daily mentoring with a guy in America, Eric Warray.
Are you being mentored, or you are mentoring somebody?
No. Well, it works both ways. We're being mentored, and then we mentor our team as well. You've got their years and years of experience. I mean, he's been in the industry for 37 years, and what he doesn't know about it and what he hasn't seen in it.
It's not worth knowing.
All the things that go right and all the things that go wrong. But all of the top earners say the same thing. They get to that point where the money isn't the point. They're not interested in the money. What they are interested in is helping other families and other people to succeed and change their lives, because it does change lives.
Is it because they get to the point where they are not even, let's say in your very own industry, in the independent travel agency, are they not even organising trips for other people anymore? Are they just literally getting all the commission from the many, probably hundreds of people they built under their pyramid?
It's both. It's a bit of each, but they still do sell the travel because they enjoy it. Some of them have written books. as I say, it's not get rich quick, but it's the people who stay in it the longest tend to get to the point where they're earning the most. And I think for older people, it's not an arduous job. We're not going to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, coming home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not having to do shift work or anything like that. We can set our work hours as we want to. Yes, you've got to be consistent. Yes, you've got to work at it if you want to succeed. There's a lot of people who do fail, and often if you look at what they've done and why they failed, it's because they haven't actually put any effort
I would say
in.
rather what they haven't done.
Yeah. They've either not put the effort in, they sit there and watch everyone else doing it and go, well, I don't know how they're doing it because it's not working for me.
Because they are not doing it.
But it's a job. You've still got to work. You've got to do something. And a lot of it is talking to people and educating people on what the industry is, what the job is, what your product is, and also how the network marketing actually works. And all the companies involved, they've got 4 different matrix models that they might use. They'll use one, not all 4. So it also depends on how they're set up. And so if you want to get into it in later life, and to be honest, a lot of people say, I'd like to start my own business, but I'm either too old or I can't afford to.
And then here you are at 69, you started it up.
Because it's so small amount of money to get involved in it. And we had our own businesses, and you know from your experiences, to start a business, you're spending quite a few tens of thousands of pounds to get it built up and running, the infrastructure, whatever. Then you've got your ongoing monthly costs all the time. And it's expensive, and it's, you've got to keep that up. And that becomes stressful in itself because every month you've got to find that money to turn it over. With multi-level marketing, it gives people the opportunity to get in. Normally, it's way less than £1,000. In our case, it was a lot less than that. Yes, you've got a monthly ongoing payment, but that covers for us. It's our insurances, it's our training, which is 7 days a week, 24 hours if we want it, a lot of it online. Our product training comes from our suppliers. We've got 100 preferred suppliers, the likes of Royal Caribbean, Cunard, Solmar Villas, Jet2. They do independent training. So we can go on every week, and one of those will be live, telling us all about their company, their holidays, and everything else. And it's the same with product
you can take
companies.
on the knowledge from them and then provide a very personal service to your customers.
Exactly.
Were you inspired by this conversation? Well, imagine applying these ideas directly in your own life. That's what we do in the 6-week program. There are practical routines that power results. Please find out more in the show notes. This is something I've come across in a different industry as well. And as a solopreneur, I'm quite sort of open to say I'm quite jealous to say, and I'd love to find something that works in the coaching industry where, as you say, you pay a monthly fee, really.
Yeah.
And for that, you get a CRM system, for that, you get your social media sorted, for that, you get a whole bunch of bit of information, your insurance. And that gives you that kind of stability in the background to be able to do what you need to do. And I think one of the hardest things I'm finding, having set up a coaching and mentoring business and being on my own, is not having that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like I need to set things up, and I'm finding, I can do certain things through this program, but I need a CRM to do something else, which is another subscription.
Yeah.
And then who does my social media? I need to, and so on and so on. So it's in certain elements, it's a lot harder when you just go into.
It is, and you'll find, as we did, that every time you want something like that, people are always willing to do it for you or give it to you, or, put you onto it. But the cost involved is
quite
immense.
a lot of cost indeed.
I wasn't going to mention the cost, but we paid £156 to join the company.
That's literally peanuts.
It is. And that gave us then our ABTA and ATOL protection accreditation. We had to do the test for it, get the certification. We're not ATOL and ABTA, the company is, but we have to know the rules and regulations, so we adhere to it all. We pay £46 a month.
That's nothing.
As our running costs. That covers all our training, that covers all our insurances, all the back office, because we don't touch people's money, which was something when we first started we were worried about. But that's all done through the company, through the back office. They are what is considered merchant of record.
You've got quite a bit of security there as well.
So we've got it. And that was very important to us when we started. And what I would say to anyone looking at any multi-level marketing company, do your due diligence. See how long the company's been running. see what their turnover is. Try and see. They should be open with their levels of payment and what their top earners are earning. And then find out how long it took them to get there, maybe. Because people sort of go in, and a lot of people are missold. Like everything in life, people missell stuff.
Yeah.
And there are people out there who they're desperate to build a team. So they'll promise things that aren't possible. And they'll say, oh, if you join us, you can earn £500 a month in the next month or 2 weeks or whatever. Wrong. It's totally impossible. It takes time to build. So you've got to steadily build and build and build.
I was going to ask you on this, if you don't mind. In the great scheme of things, because obviously you've run businesses all through your life, how does the effort in this job compare to even just your previous business or any business that you've run before?
Initially, you put a lot of effort in.
Do you find that you work 40-hour weeks or 70-hour weeks?
No, because a lot of people get into multi-level marketing. Again, doesn't matter. I'm not talking about what we do, just multi-level marketing in general. So whether it's, what we're doing, whether it's services, product, whatever, they do it part-time. Because most of people are working when they're introduced to it. So they start off and they're working it part-time alongside their other job. Some people will just tick along and they'll do a little bit now and again, but they'll never go very far with it. Other people will see the benefit and they'll suddenly start working before they go to work, and then they'll work in their lunchtime, and then they'll work when they get home.
And then they realise that, hang on a minute.
They'll realise they're starting to really take off. And they get to a point then when they can replace their original job and then do it full time.
Because if I remember right, if you don't mind me quoting this, you actually got to that point in just a matter of few months, didn't you?
We did, but not totally because of this. Bearing in mind, we had the benefit of having our pensions coming in. We couldn't live on our pensions. We had to have something else to do that. But it gave us the ability to close our other business down so we could concentrate on this. We were at a point with what we were doing was so stressful. And every year it was getting harder and harder with supplies, with costs and everything else. And we were tied with government regulation on some of it. And that made it difficult. So we got to a point, we were getting older and older and getting more and more stressed. And we just thought, why?
This is not what you worked for all your life.
No, we could do this for another 2 years and fall over. So when this came along and we started working it, then we made that decision after a year. Okay, fine, let's just do something now, just over a year. Let's just, stop this and then we'll work on that more. We've got surgeons, we've got doctors, nurses, head teachers, nail bar owners, motor mechanics, bus drivers. There's all sorts of people in our organisation, the company we're with.
So people who are still running their, so to speak, original businesses, and then they are doing the independent travel agency alongside it. I suppose a lot of people probably who are doing, whether it's, as you said, vitamins or beauty products or any other product, a lot of people would still be running it as a part-time business.
They do. Most of them do. People do at Avon as a part-time. People used to sell Tupperware as a part-time.
Yeah.
It was all to top up. So some people are looking at life and going, I'm working 40 hours a week, and at the end of the day, what am I getting
more months
out of it?
than money.
There's more month than money. We need extra. How do we get extra money? And this is a good way for a lot of people to test the water, try it out at a low cost and start, and so they can earn a bit. Some people want to earn 200, 300, 400, 500 pound a month extra just to top up the bills or perhaps have that holiday they want or to buy a new sofa or whatever it is. Whereas others do that and they start, and then after a while they realise
they just fall in love with it. I suppose this goes back to what you said, that when you find the product or service that completely resonates with you, then you will find yourself running with it.
I've been, in the last few years, I've been asked about joining a utilities company. And to be perfectly honest, utilities just don't float my boat whatsoever. So I would find it very hard to do that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I've always seen all of them as you need to be a salesperson. But you kind of shedding a different light on different kinds of companies, and just because it's all multi-level marketing.
It is. It's the whole thing. I'm not just promoting what we do. It is multi-level marketing is the key to it. A lot of, when you talk about salesy, it's always that people go, but I can't sell, I'm shy. Most of the top people, including Eric Worre that I mentioned just now, they're all introverts. And when you look at them and listen to them, seriously, how can you be an introvert? You know, you're just so out there.
Well, but maybe because
But
they've just become so comfortable with
it's like having an
what they
alter
do.
ego, almost.
Okay.
I listened to a girl yesterday, Amy Beckett. She started 5 years ago. She's now earning in excess of £250,000 a year. She said she was so shy when she first started, and she said there was no way I could talk to anybody. She was in the medical profession. She was earning £100,000 a year at the time, and she looked at it and she said, you know, how am I going to do this? I can't talk to people. I can't go
All
out
she
and do
needed to
this.
do was probably just talk to her colleagues, wasn't it?
Well, to start with, but she had a mentor above her, Leah Lockett. Leah and Rachel have, funnily enough, written a book recently, which has been put out there. But Amy said Leah basically worked with her, mentored her, and got her up there. She had one
So
of the
trained
biggest,
her to be able
yeah,
to speak.
She said, okay, I'm earning nicely. I'm earning more than I was before. And she said in the early days, you know, it was hard work because I was doing the job I was doing for that level. And then I was trying to build this on the side. But she said the two things that came out of it was, one, she grew in her own confidence, which also helped her in her other job. And as they all say, it's not just about the money. It's about what else people grow with through it, how they grow
it's
themselves.
the self-development side of things.
There is a lot of self-development with it, a lot of mindset work, a lot of self-development. And people just, because you're with a big organisation, a lot of people who want you to do well. I mean, just as a by the by, Rachel is, as I said, she's a multi-seven-figure earner now. And over the last 8 weeks, she's been running a CEO school. And she's been doing an hour on a Monday evening for anybody in the team.
You can utilize these lessons to train yourself to move. Well, you can't move up because, as you already explained, you're building the pyramid down, but you can develop yourself.
Well, you develop because the more your pyramid goes down, the more people you're helping as well, then the more you earn. So that's your earnings go up. Your level doesn't go up. You'll never surpass her level because there's all the people between us, but you'll go past some of those in earnings. And if you were really at it, you could get past her in earnings, although now it's pretty unlikely, but because everyone underneath growing is pushing her up. But you
of course,
but this is the whole point of it, I think, is that people learn, they've got that. But Rachel has done this 8 weeks of it. How many organisations would you find where the chief executive will take an hour of his own time on a Monday night and he'll get all the company and all the shop floor workers and impart all his knowledge and experience down to the bottom?
You've got to be an entrepreneur to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
I've been in the business circles for about 3.5 years, and the difference between business circles and the corporate world is uncomparable.
Yeah.
Completely uncomparable. Indeed, just as you said, the support on every level and between colleagues.
Yeah.
But it kind of does lead me to a question that's been sort of circling around my mind for a little bit. At what point does the industry become saturated? Because you keep building into the pyramid. At what point are there too many independent travel agents?
I don't think there ever will be, the same as there aren't too many independent vitamin salespeople. Because when you think about it, at the moment, in our company, we got 27,000 travel agents in the UK, independent travel agents.
Okay, well, let me tell you from my point. So in my own network, I probably know a minimum of 5 or 6, if not 7 or 8 independent travel agents. Which one do I turn to?
Well, yeah, there is that.
Because they're all kind of friends to some extent. Which one do I turn to literally support? Because I know that if I buy a holiday through any one of you, then you will get that commission. And it kind of comes down to that personal decision. And it is a hard decision. And at the end, it's almost like, well, I don't want to preferentiate anyone over the other. Then I go off and search myself.
It's difficult to know. I mean, as I say, this has been growing in this country now, 6 years in, I suppose. There's a few companies, but what's happening, I think, is there's more independent travel agents than there are now high street travel agents. That side of it will start to whittle away.
How do you count that? Is it like if there was a high street travel agent office and there were 4 people sitting in there, would they have counted as one agent each?
No, I think when they do all the figures, it works on how many actual outlets and how many companies there are and what those companies have got. Yeah. Because the big ones like Hayes and all those. But The travel industry is currently worth, I think the last figure was something like 15 billion a year. And they reckon in the next 10 years, it's going to be something like 21 billion pounds worth a year. We've got 66 million people in this country. And you've got 27,000 independent travel agents in our company.
Okay,
You've probably got other companies the same.
Yeah, I've always wondered if all these agents are working for the same company.
No.
There's a number of them.
There's a number of companies. Some are good, some aren't so good. We heard a situation the other day. Our company pays the commissions after people have had their holiday. So you go and have your holiday. When you've come back, we then get paid commission.
Okay. Not at the point of payment?
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which is good for us. We'd like that. There's another company who do it the other way around. And recently, something went wrong and one person had 5 holidays cancelled. And she'd already had her commission, and they then asked for it back.
Oh, wow.
So
I see what you mean. I didn't even...
So if you're getting your commission up front, bearing in mind, often people will be booking maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years ahead.
I mean, I see your posts popping up, and some of them are indeed for like next summer, next winter. And it's like, I don't even know what I'm going to do next week, never mind next year.
But a lot of people do. And so the reason some do is because they'll spread the payment out. So they'll book it now, and then over the next 2 years, they'll be paying it off before they go. So they haven't got to find, I don't know, 2 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever the holiday's worth. Yeah. In that one hit. So it helps them that way. But we prefer it that way around, because that way we don't touch
You've just explained
money.
it very well why that's a good idea.
But also one of the other companies, we paid £150, £56 to join. For that, we've got all the back office, all the training, everything else, and a website, etc. This other company is £10,000 to join.
Oh, my word.
And it's more a month running cost.
What else what do you get for it?
Not a lot different. I think they might do a bit more marketing for you than our company does, but that's about it.
When I started over at 50, I learned the hard way. Now I know that health routines are the backbone of business success. So now I help other entrepreneurs do the same. Explore the Routine Club via the link in the show notes, because a healthier you makes a wealthier you. Well, you already get a lot of support with the social media posts as well anyway.
Yeah, so that's what I say. You've got to look at the company you want to work with.
So going back to myth busting, that was one of my aims with this episode, is to do some myth busting on network marketing, so that people can find themselves a little easier about it and
I think
to go into it.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of misconceptions.
Going back to your own story, were there any myths that you believed in the past that have been busted now and you're feeling a lot more comfortable about?
One of the biggest myths I originally had, and certainly when we tried and didn't do very well, because we hadn't put the effort in, was there's a few people make a lot of money out of this and no one else does. And since we've been in this and we've been to some of our events, both because we're part of a company, we've got 2 parts. We've got the travel agency side, we've got the marketing side, both independent companies who work solely together. Okay. But that's where the other payment comes from. So we get paid commissions on travel sales. At the marketing side, they are the ones who pay us for the developing a team, showing other people how to do it, introducing other people. As far as myths go, there's a lot of myths that we had. And one of the biggest was how much you can earn or can't earn, how much effort you have to put into it. You know, have we got time to do this? How much is this all going to cost us? Product-based, we've looked at a few and it's sort of, well, you've got to buy a starter kit, you've got to do this. And we've often looked at, we've got to pay all that money out up front, which we always thought of as an upfront cost, not an investment, which is
that's a completely different conversation, isn't it? The whole mindset issue about it all. But
is it a cost? Is it an investment? Is it what? So, but you know, that put us off some. But it was always that. Well, once we've got that, and we had a friend who got into a company. Sadly, she's no longer with us, but she did it, and we kept saying to her, "How's it going? Oh, it's great, it's great." We said, "Oh, brilliant! No, so you're earning some nice commission now." And she said, "Well, no, because I'm reinvesting in this. I've got to get I've got to build this kit up, and I've got to do this." We went, "Hang on a minute, but you're not earning any money at all. You're just constantly reinvesting what you're earning."
Well, I think we managed to bust a lot of myths about network marketing and why this could be a beneficial way forward for any people in the later stage of their lives, where they still want to do something instead of retiring, because you clearly threw retirement into the wind. But as a veteran small business owner, what is your truth about business that never changes?
It's hard work and stressful. I think the one thing that business will never do, you've got to be of a certain mind to have any type of business. You've got to be a self-starter. You've got to be self-reliant to a degree. You can't look to other people all the time for answers. You know, if you want to run any type of business, you've got to find your customers, you've got to build your customer base and relationships to keep those customers. You've got to put the time and the effort in. And whatever business you're in, and we've done it, where you sort of think, okay, I'll start this from home. And the next thing you know is you're watching lunchtime telly or you're doing the ironing. And because you're not sure what you've got to be doing, you then have that get out clause of, or I've just got to put the washing out, or I've just got to do this. And they're not anything other than excuses of not working because you don't know what you're doing next. And there's a guy who's a very good businessman. We went to listen to a talk one weekend. It was a whole weekend we paid for. Kevin, your previous person I think you spoke to.
Yeah, Kevin Cope. Yeah.
Kevin Cope. He was there with us. And that was one of the things. This guy left his company. He was on a very high salary, left the company to go on his own. And the first day he spent setting his office up in his back room at home in the bedroom. And he said then he sat the next day and he fiddled around with Post-it notes and things and made his office look really pretty. But he hadn't a clue what he had to do next. And it was only a neighbour came over and said to him, "What have you done today?" And he said, "Well, I've done this, done that, set this up." He said, "Yeah, but what have you actually done?" He said, "Well, I've just told you." He said, "No."
Something that moved the needle forward.
You've done nothing to earn an income. He said, "You've got to every day phone these people, phone and talk to people." And he said, if you're not doing something that's income producing each and every day, you'll go back to work. But you must set some time, go, right, for this period of time, I'm only going to do this, which is going to start to bring income, whether it's gaining customers, whether it's building those relationships, whether it's, I don't know, finding the right thing to sell or do or set up.
That's a really important insight. And on that note, I would like to mention that as the listeners know, that my strength is in the routine, in having a daily routine to look after all areas of your health. And solo episodes will be coming to dig deep into every single one of these things that you've just mentioned. So Peter, thank you very much for those insights.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you very much for coming along and be a guest on New Business in Later Life.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to New Business in Later Life with me, Ildikó Sealey, where we say no to slowing down and yes to starting up. Loved what you've heard? Please share it, screenshot it, and tag me on socials. Let's show the world what thriving in later life really looks like and share with a friend who is ready for their next chapter. Please subscribe so you are always in the loop. And if you were ready to stop running on empty and start running on purpose, well, come join us. All the links are waiting in the show notes, including my guests' contacts, the Uncopreneurs Club, and the few tools and services I personally use in my business to help you thrive in yours. Until next time, refuel, refocus, and reinvent.